I'm Tom Vessel, and welcome to Week in Review. This is where we take a look at all the reviews we did over the past week, and we tell you what we think of them, and then you can check the links in the description to find out more. Here we go.
Hey everybody, Z Garcia here. So last week we put out a new board game blender. Go check that out. I did a review of Rolling Ranch. This is a roll and write game coming up from Thundergriff. I rate this a 7 out of 10. It's real cute, very simple game. I like that it's a little more thematic than the usual roll and writes where you're rolling and writing down numbers and such. But you're building buildings and picking up your, gathering your animals that ran away from your ranch. Very cute. I like that a lot. I did a review of the new Blue Moon City from CMON Limited. It's a great game. It's a game that's been out of print now for quite a long time. It's still a fantastic design. I did do a video as well comparing that to the original printing from Fantasy Flight Games, so check that out. But I still rate it an 8 out of 10 Blue Moon City. And while I prefer my original printing of the game, I'm just happy it's back in print. So good. And then finally, I reviewed Majolica. This is a tile laying game in which you are putting together tiles in different workshops and completing orders for customers. I rate this an 8 out of 10 as well. Very attractive game, very puzzly game, and it's all about timing and lining up those workshops to fire in the correct order. It's a good one. And so that's it for me. I will see you all next time.
Hey folks, welcome back to another Week in Review. I did one review and then 4 other kinds of videos this week. First one was Movable Type. This is a review of a word building card game that's put out by Uncanny Cardboard, designed by Robin David. And it is exactly what I just said. It's a word building card game with a twist where you can have some certain goals with the author cards, and it's neat, but for me, it just didn't really hit a stride at all, so I gave it a 5 out of 10. Go check it out, though, because it might hit your fancy. Also did a couple of What's in There videos for some expansion boxes for Village Attacks from Grimlord Games. I did one for their Horror of the Sands expansion, which is a little bit of a larger expansion. More models, changes a couple of the different rules that are actually in the core rulebook already. And then I also did one for Doom and Suffering. Very uplifting names, these expansions. Anyway, that's a couple of What's in There videos. Also did a not a top 10, but a 10 games that I played at Essen. No particular order, just sharing with you my first impressions on those 10 games out of the, I think, 12 or maybe 13 games that I played during Essen. So there you have that. And then also we were able to put together another Token Punch lunch for you. So you can go check that out as well. A lot of good segments and from my contributors. So enjoy. And that's it from me this week. We'll see you on the flip side.
Okay, and from me, first of all, I ranked these 5s because they were, even though they're kids' games. Hedgehog Hustle, which is bouncing ping pong balls into a hole, seems like a lot of fun, except the final part is just too difficult for kids. Monopoly Junior Electronic Banking, yay! But it's not, it's just basically there's no choices for the kids. It uses credit cards and a little electronic machine. That's kind of neat, but the game literally gives you no choice. Voltage. This is a 2-player game that I found very, very light. I don't know that I want to play it all the time, but it was an entertaining way to pass the time. Ecolinks. This one I ranked a 7. It's a game in which you're putting out these different paths, connecting things, a speed way of doing it. There's a lot of games like this. This one, A, looks gorgeous, and B, I thought it was very interesting how you put these together. Could even be played a little bit solitaire as a puzzle if you want. Also 7 is Talisman Legendary Tales. I hate Talisman. Something that when I mentioned it in the review, I got a lot of hate for saying that, but whatever. It's a terrible game. But Talisman Legendary Tales is a very different game. It's a cooperative game, and I gave it the 7 mostly because it works so well with kids. Woodlands is another game that's a 7. This one is where you're placing these clear tiles, or you have a clear overlay, and you put down tiles trying to connect things, and then you put the overlay on top and see if you succeeded. Really neat game. Festo, 7.5 here. This one is about eating food or making a feast, which, as you know, is something I like to talk about. But it's a very thinky Euro-style game. I also took a look at the Shards of Infinity Relics of the Future expansion. I probably would have given this higher than a 7.5 if there had been more cards, but even with this few cards in it, it has some very differentiated ways to separate the different characters in the game now. I like that, and the Relics cards are really awesome. Wildlands. What a great game this is from Martin Wallace. It's very, very light, but I gave it an 8.5 because it's just sheer fun. Decks of cards, 4 very different factions. The miniatures are washed. The production is great. Osprey is just knocking it out of the park with this one. And then, game of the week, easily game of the month for me, and that is Chronicles of Crime. Ooh, how I love Chronicles of Crime. It is a terrific game. It is a game that's an app mixed with a board game where you're trying to solve a murder case and figure out who's lying about who. Oh, it is fantastic, and I can't wait to play it some more. All right, so I gave it 9.5, almost a perfect 10, and it might move up to a 10 as time goes by. We'll see. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell, and you've been watching Week in Review on the Dice Tower. Woo!